Here at the Couple for Christ channel, we're a different type of ministry. A different type of ministry at True Witness Ministries, where we don't care about your money and tithes. We just want to bring you the truth and knowledge of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. We want to make sure you have a natural relationship with God, and that you're delivered of all demons, and that you know exactly what is going on. So sit tight, buckle down, and we're going to go over proofs that the Great Tribulation has happened in the 1st century AD. What we do ask, though, at Couple for Christ is that you share these messages, get them out to the four corners of the world so that others can also know the truth of Jesus Christ, the timeline we live in, and that nothing one has ever done in their life can keep them away from being saved. Salvation is for all. Jesus Christ is the King of glory. So buckle up and let's get it in. We are going to go through dozens of events that happened from 64 AD all the way until 75 AD, proving that the Great Tribulation happened in the 1st century. Beginning in 64 AD, Emperor Nero begins the persecution of the Christians. Also in 64 AD, Peter the Apostle was crucified upside down in Rome by Nero. Paul was also put to death in 64 AD. 64 AD, Roman standards, meaning their banners, which were stuck in the ground, unmovable, ever since 43 AD, 21 years earlier. For 21 years, these banners were stuck in the ground. They were now released and movable. 64 AD, a plague kills at least 30,000 Romans. Does this sound like a bit of judgment upon the heathens from the Most High God? I would say so. 64 AD, Apostle Paul was beheaded in Rome by Nero. 65 AD, a miraculous star appears as a sword over Jerusalem, and it lasts for the entire year. 65 AD, a miraculous comet now appears in the sky, also lasts for the entire year. Also 65 AD, a miraculous and massive east gate of Jerusalem opens all by itself. Again, 65 AD, a virgin red heifer gives birth to a lamb in the temple. 65 AD, a miraculous spectacle of angelic armies were seen in the skies around Jerusalem. Come on, people, I'm not making this up. This is well documented. Look these things up for yourself. 65 AD, the priests in the temple felt an earthquake, and they also heard a miraculous multitude of voices saying, "Let us remove hence." 65 AD, Apostle Thaddeus was crucified in Persia by the Magi. 65 AD, Apostle John receives the book of Revelation. 65 AD, a massive earthquake, not even one, many massive earthquakes in Laodicea and Campania. 66 AD begins the Jewish revolt against Rome. Thus it begins. Also in 66 AD, the Judean rebels ambush Gallus and kill 5,300 Roman soldiers. This is enough to start to really piss off the Roman Empire. So a year later, 67 AD, countdown to 3.5-year time of the real tribulation starts. Read the book of Daniel. The time adds up. Also in 67 AD, the Jewish high priesthood comes to an end. The high priests are now drawn by lots. They're basically gambling to see who the next high priest is going to be. Things are changing. Also in 67 AD, the Jewish civil war in Jerusalem begins. The Zealots and the Sicarii kill anyone who leaves the city. The real Sicarii, not the fake Hebrew Israelite cult. Also, 67 AD, the siege of Jotapata. 40,000 Jews are massacred. Josephus, the historian, is also captured by the Romans at this time in 67 AD. Also in 67 AD, the doors of Augustus's mausoleum and Nero's bedchamber both are miraculously opened by themselves. 67 AD, it miraculously rains blood upon the land as an omen of judgment from the Most High God. Now get this. 1 year later, 68 AD, Emperor Nero commits suicide. This is judgment upon the heathen ruling class. You're going to notice a trend here. 68 AD, Galba becomes the new Caesar. 68 AD, a massive earthquake occurs in Rome. 69 AD, Otho becomes the new Caesar. Also in 69 AD, another comet was seen. These comets are harbingers of doom, people. 69 AD, the moon miraculously is eclipsed twice, 3 days apart on Wednesday and on Saturday. 69 AD, people saw a miraculous spectacle of two suns at once. One was weak and pale, and the other was brilliant and powerful. We see these crazy things today with the sun doing all kinds of strange things. They've built a fake sun. Bill Gates is trying to black out the sun. There's lots of things happening now as well. This is the devil mimicking things, trying to fool us. 69 AD, a huge miraculous footprints are discovered by soldiers at the Capitol. The door of the Temple of Jupiter also miraculously opens by itself. 69 AD, Caesar Otho commits suicide. 69 AD, Caesar Vitellius becomes the new emperor of Rome. 69 AD, Vitellius, the Caesar, burns down the Temple of Jupiter. Why would he burn down his own pagan temple? 69 AD, the moon is eclipsed miraculously and appears both blood-colored and black, and it gave out other colors as well. 69 AD, Caesar Vitellius was beheaded, and Vespasian becomes the new Caesar. 69 AD, the siege of Jerusalem by General Titus's army begins. It commences in 69 AD. 70 AD, a grain famine in Rome begins, causing a bread shortage. Panic sets in. But this time, they didn't have a Joseph that was wise enough to store the grain. 70 AD, Titus's army arrives in Rome. 70 AD, angelic chariots and troops are once again seen miraculously running around in the clouds around Jerusalem. 70 AD, the sacrifices in the temple cease, just like the book of Daniel said. 70 AD, the temple is burnt to the ground on the 9th of Aviv. 70 AD, Apostle Matthias was stoned and beheaded. I guess stoning wasn't enough. 70 AD, Apostle Bartholomew was flayed to death with a whip in Armenia while preaching the gospel. Being flayed means to be having one's skin removed down to the muscle. It's disgusting. 70 AD, Apostle Andrew was crucified in Patras, Achaia Hippolytus. 70 AD, the Romans have complete control of Jerusalem. They burnt it to the ground, killing residents on the 8th of Elul. 71 AD, the treasures were taken from the temple in a parade for Titus, the triumphal arch of Titus. 72 AD, the Romans lay siege to Masada. 73 AD, the fortress of Masada falls to the Roman armies. 960 Jews commit suicide. They committed group suicide rather than being imprisoned by the Romans. These were the Sicarii that did this at the fortress of Masada. 75 AD, we conclude with the Temple of Peace built in Rome to celebrate the conquest of Jerusalem. This housed the menorah from the Holy Temple. That concludes our list. If you feel like it, look into each and every one of these events that I've outlined here. This was not meant to be an exhaustive study, but simply a bunch of proofs to show that the Great Tribulation happened in the 1st century, because all of these things that the Romans were doing, one Caesar was committing suicide after another. General Titus comes in to stomp out the Jews in their revolt. The apostles are being crucified and martyred. It would make more sense for Christ to come back then, when the true church was being truly persecuted. That's all I have for now. We'll see you on the next one. God bless each and every one of you.